Hey everyone, and welcome back to Personance. We like to dive deep into the stuff that you care about. And, well, let's be honest, for a lot of us here in the U.S. right now, that means figuring out how to make our money stretch a little further.
It's definitely a top of mind topic these days. I mean, we're just bombarded with all this news about the economy and feeling that pinch every time you go to the grocery store.
Yeah,
It's a lot. It's stressful.
for sure. So we're kind of ditching that generic budgeting advice that you hear all the time. We're going hyper specific today. We've got 10 concrete things that you can cut from your budget, stuff that you might not even realize is like just draining your bank account.
Yeah, we really dug into the research, tons of articles, just a whole bunch of stuff to find the moves that can make the biggest impact, especially for us, living in America.
Exactly. And we're talking about potentially saving thousands of dollars a year. That could be life-changing for a lot of people, for real.
Absolutely.
So should we get right into it?
Yeah, let's jump in.
All right, let's do it. First up on the chopping block, brand name groceries. We all have them, right? That cereal you've been buying since you were a kid, or like that one specific pasta sauce.
Oh, totally. The comfort picks. We all have those. But here's the thing. Studies have shown that just making the switch to store brands, even just for some of the items on your list, can shave off like 5 to 25% off your entire grocery bill.
Wait, 5 to 25%. That's huge.
It is. It's really significant.
And honestly, I've found a lot of times that the quality difference is really barely noticeable. I actually did a blind taste test on my family with store brand paper towels, and they couldn't even tell the difference.
You know what? That's so common. It's really about breaking free from the power of that marketing and the nostalgia we feel for those brands. Blind taste tests show this time and time again that for so many products, the store brand honestly holds up just as well.
Okay, next up is something that can be a little bit sneaky, those recurring subscriptions that we kind of forget about,
Right.
especially things like XM radio or those kinds of services.
Ugh, yeah. It's the classic small payments add up trap. It gets us every time. But really think about it. If you've got like the average American commute, which is what, maybe like 15 minutes each way, is a $15 a month radio subscription really worth it?
Right, we're not saying like completely ditch everything, but you should really just take stock. There are free podcasts, music libraries, even regular radio. They're often good enough. Think about it. That money could be going towards something that you really value.
Totally. It's about really aligning your spending with your priorities. And speaking of things we might be overspending on, let's talk about fast fashion. That urge to buy all the trendy clothes at low prices. It's so tempting, but
I've definitely been there. It's so tempting, ending up with the closet overflowing with clothes, and yet I still feel like I have nothing to wear. It's a vicious cycle, and it hits our wallets hard.
it does. And on top of that, there's a growing awareness now about the ethical and environmental costs of fast fashion, which is something a lot of people are thinking about these days.
For sure. So what's the solution? Like, we're not saying you can't buy any clothes.
Not at all. It's not about deprivation, it's about intentionality. One thing you can try is the one in, one out rule. So you love that new shirt. Okay, great. But that means something else in your closet has to go.
I love that. I'm going to try that.
It's a good one. It forces you to be a lot more picky about what you bring into your life, which ultimately means you'll save more money in the long run. Now, this next one is less about what you're buying and more about just being vigilant. It's sneaky automatic payments. Those can really be budget killers.
Oh, yeah. Haven't we all looked at our bank statements and been like, wait a minute, I'm still paying for that?
Mm.
It happens to the best of us, like that app you downloaded one time and used once, or that free trial you totally forgot to cancel.
It's so easy to forget about those things, but those little charges, just $1 here, $5 there, they really do add up. A good tip is to regularly review your bank statements. I mean, like really schedule it in your calendar. It'll save you a lot of money and headaches in the long run.
I know it's painful, but it's necessary. Speaking of things that might be more common here in the U.S., let's talk about our love of date night. Specifically, the kind that involves going out to eat or to a bar every week.
It's true. It's almost become like an expectation for couples these days. But it can get so expensive. Let's say your average dinner and drinks night out is like, what, $70? Well, that's almost $300 a month.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, when my partner and I first talked about cutting back on those weekly outings, I kind of panicked.
Yeah.
I was like, is this going to ruin the romance? What are we going to do?
It's a common fear, but the truth is, staying in can actually be just as fun, if not more so.
It's true. And cheaper.
Exactly. And it forces you to be a little more creative. You can cook together, have game nights, do movie marathons. Those can be super bonding experiences and way cheaper than going out. Plus, just imagine what you could do with that extra $300 a month.
Right. I mean, that's a vacation right there, or at least a really nice weekend getaway. So I'm sold. Staying in it is.
I'm telling you, it can be awesome.
All right, this next one might be a little tough for some folks out there, especially if you're someone who really enjoys a good happy hour. We're talking about overpriced alcohol.
Oh, especially at restaurants, right?
Yes. Restaurants, bars, you name it.
It's crazy. The markup on cocktails is insane. And with the cost of everything going up these days, those drinks can really add up fast.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself, right?
Exactly. You've just got to be strategic about it.
Totally. So what do you suggest?
Well, BYOB nights with friends are always a good option. Or taking advantage of happy hour specials.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or even just enjoying drinks at home more often can save you a ton of money.
Yeah, and sometimes, let's be honest, a cozy night in is just what you need.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that balance. Okay, now this next one might hit a nerve, especially for those of us living in the US. We're constantly bombarded with all these messages about status and success.
Oh, tell me about it.
So we're going to dive into the designer purse trap.
Ooh. Yeah. This one's personal for me. I used to think I needed that fancy designer bag to feel confident, to feel stylish.
I totally get it. I think a lot of people feel that way.
But then I realized I was spending way more money than I could actually afford just for a logo.
It's a powerful marketing machine, that's for sure. It really gets in your head.
It does. So what's the solution? Are you saying we should never buy nice bags ever again?
No, not at all. Quality does matter. But there are so many great bags out there that don't cost a fortune. The key is to invest in a few classic, well-made pieces that you can use for years.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's about being more thoughtful about those purchases, not getting swept up in the hype.
Exactly. True style isn't about the label, it's about expressing yourself.
I love that. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about those little impulse buys that, honestly, we all fall prey to. The cute mugs, trendy phone cases, those live, laugh, love signs.
Oh yeah, the treat yourself mentality. It can be dangerous. It's so easy to justify those purchases because they're not usually that expensive on their own. Right, exactly.
But they add up,
Yeah.
both financially and in terms of clutter.
Oh my gosh, the clutter. Don't even get me started. I have a drawer full of mugs that I never use, and I've got like a million phone cases.
It's a common problem.
Yeah.
So here's a good tip. Before you buy anything, ask yourself two questions. Where am I going to put this? And will I still care about it in a month?
Oh, I like that. It's a good reality check.
It is. It's about being mindful of your spending and your space.
Makes sense. Okay, and speaking of clutter, this next one is all about those trendy accessories that we buy, but then barely wear.
Oh, yeah. Like those shoes that pinch your feet or that statement necklace that literally only goes with one outfit.
Yeah. My closet is overflowing with clothes and shoes that I rarely, if ever, wear. It's a problem.
It's time to streamline, prioritize versatility and wearability over quantity.
So what do you suggest? Like, where do we even start?
Well, first, invest in a few high-quality basics that you can mix and match. And when it comes to shoes, choose comfort and durability over those fleeting trends. That makes a lot of sense. Quality over quantity.
Exactly. A few well-made pairs will serve you better than a dozen trendy ones that end up just sitting in your closet gathering dust.
All right, and last but not least, the one that probably gets us all. The takeout temptation. After a long day, it's so easy to just order in.
Oh, tell me about it. Especially with all those convenient food delivery apps these days, it's literally just a few clicks away.
It's dangerous, I'm telling you.
It is dangerous. And the thing is, takeout is expensive, often not the healthiest choice, and it can really contribute to food waste.
Ugh, I know. I'm so guilty of this. I order way too much food and then half of it just ends up in the trash.
It's a lose-lose situation. So what's the solution? Having a plan.
Okay, I like it. A plan.
Yeah, so stock your pantry and freezer with some quick and easy meal options that you can make on those nights when you just can't face cooking a big meal.
That's a great idea.
Even a simple meal at home is almost always going to be healthier and cheaper than takeout.
Yeah, it's true. It's about more than just, dollars and cents. It's about creating a life that is both financially secure, A&D, emotionally fulfilling.
Totally. Having that freedom to pursue your passions, to spend time with the people you love, to travel, to give back to your community, all without constantly stressing about money. That's the dream,
Yeah,
right?
sure. So for all of you listening out there, Think about what truly brings you joy. Like, really think about it. Is it that designer purse? Or is it spending quality time with your family and friends, pursuing your hobbies, traveling to new and exciting places?
Yeah, or maybe it's about having the financial freedom to, like, finally make a career change
Right.
or to start your own business.
Exactly. So, whatever it is that you're working towards, make sure that your spending habits are actually supporting those goals, not sabotaging them.
It's so easy to lose sight of the big picture when you're caught up in the day-to-day.
And remember, even small changes can make a really big difference over time. You don't have to completely overhaul your lifestyle overnight. Just start by identifying one or two areas where you can cut back and then see how that feels.
Maybe it's swapping out those brand name groceries for a month, or committing to cooking at home more often. Or maybe it's finally canceling those subscriptions that you never use.
Right. Little by little, it all adds up.
Yeah.
You might be surprised at how much money you can actually save without even really feeling deprived.
It's true. And once you start to see those savings add up, it can be so motivating to keep going and to make even more positive changes.
Momentum is key. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into all these budget saving strategies, we want to leave you with one final thought. Your financial journey is, unique to you. There's no one-size-fits-all approach here.
Right. It's all about finding what works for you, experimenting, making adjustments along the way.
You got this.
And remember, you don't have to do it alone. There are so many resources available, communities you can join, people who can support you on this path to financial freedom.
Absolutely. Okay, so before we go, we would love to hear from you. What are your go-to budget cuts? Share your thoughts, your tips, even your struggles down in the comments below. Let's all help each other out. And hey, while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and give us a like. Stay tuned for more deep dives into topics that matter to you. Thanks for joining us on this journey to financial freedom.